Welcome to the Peak Performance and Peak Satisfaction podcast with Master Executive Coach Sherry Gregoff. Sherry helps business people perform better, get rewarded handsomely, and actually enjoy their work. After having her own career turnaround, she now helps other high-powered business professionals experience the same. Join the movement to work differently.
Welcome to the podcast. It's great to have you here. When I look back at my podcast and my weekly blog articles, there is one topic that consistently generates the most feedback and inquiries: relationships. In business, no matter what the industry, we are always in a people business. Without leading in our relationships, excellence in our work simply will not be possible. In our last pillar today, inside my signature system, we are uncovering what is necessary to earn handsomely in our work. Both excellence and earning well are the two results we are after today. And to do so, we are delving deeper into relationships with two more sets of stakeholders: our partners and the leaders of our business. If this is the first in this special podcast series that you are tuning into, be sure to check out episodes 65, 66, and 67 for the full look into my signature system. Today, we complete this behind-the-scenes look at exactly what skills you will learn to master with my executive coaching. This is the final episode in this series, in celebration of my work-life audit offer that is only open for one more week through December 18th. So, if you've wanted to see what working with me is like firsthand, beyond the podcast itself, scoop up the value you will receive in pausing to take stock of your work and life in the audit with me, and leave with a plan of action of how to create what you want next in your work and life. Back in Pillar 6, we covered managing our own teams, but now we look horizontally in the organization and up. If you have ever felt at odds with your peers or those senior to you, this is where we face that conflict head on. This approach may feel different. We tend to try to just get along, bite our tongue, grin and bear it. But as valiant as that may sound, it's playing defense. If you are just trying to survive your professional relationships, you are missing out on tremendous opportunity to advance your business and career. This may not feel accessible when how you were treated in that big meeting has got your temper hot and you're feeling combative in reaction to your colleagues' behaviors. My clients bring it all to our coaching sessions, not to vent, but to process and to extract the value from the situation and then decide next steps. We diffuse drama so that you can get back to business and doing the work you love with excellence. Any people problem we make not a problem. There is always a way to rise above, to take the high road that feels better and is more effective. We find it together every time. Clients say this is a stark difference from how the temperature of their relationships previously would directly drive their level of satisfaction and their performance. Let's give you a look into what this is like in our coaching together. Pillar 7 continues our focus on excellence in our work, this time by managing horizontally. We resolve interpersonal conflict and strengthen collaboration with colleagues, business partners, and clients. First, we begin by creating a stakeholder map of important contacts and dependencies around your role. Who impacts your success, and whose success do you impact? Where do objectives align or contradict? What is the current status of the partnership? What is the level of trust? Once we have this map, it helps us prioritize which relationships require your attention most urgently and for the most benefit. This is where you may realize you're either way too invested in certain relationships or that you've neglected others. Without doing this review of the landscape, you will undoubtedly under or overshoot partnerships with key stakeholders. Next, it's helpful here to debrief on any 360 feedback, to leverage your strengths, and to set your development agenda. This feedback can help us pinpoint ways to improve your partnerships by incorporating their candid feedback. I help clients collect this feedback and mine it for the gold, the opportunities to bolster relationships and shift their approach for more impact. Even without a formal process or written feedback, I give you ways to elicit the feedback you need to hear from your critical stakeholders. I help you calm your objections or feelings of being exposed to objectively evaluate feedback and decide carefully what you will incorporate next. Then, for your horizontal partnerships, it's critical to find the collective agendas where your goals overlap. So often in business, we are organized by group, each with their own mission, and there's this hope that we just negotiate a way to accomplish our respective missions together. Usually, this ends up with silos of people who have a hard time relating to each other. It is so useful to find how both your team and another team can win by working together. I have a client whose role is squarely between marketing and sales. They are measured together on revenue generation and uniting around that common cause and outcome for their respective success and that of the company. It's the only way to work as one team. This takes a certain approach and energy to mobilize cross-functional teams who may be more comfortable staying in their lane, however myopic it might be. But even with a collective agenda, there can be interpersonal conflict. This is the nature of business and people-centered organizations. Even in this example of both sales and marketing partnering together, there can be ingrained ways of doing things and a tendency to point fingers. Sales may accuse the leads generated by marketing of being low quality. Marketing may accuse sales of not nurturing the lead quickly enough that the sale is missed. I help clients face the interpersonal conflict and address it at the root. With a horizontal cross-functional partner, this conflict can be a routine carried out by person after person in these roles. For more success, it takes a new approach. In my client's example of sales and marketing, he used metrics and carefully worked to get buy-in from his partners on KPIs to highlight areas of opportunity for improvement. And then, rather than finger-pointing, they would work to address the issue together. Each strained relationship is different, but we can always find a way to improve it. There is this identity of being a fixer, always figuring it out, never quitting because it gets hard or there's conflict. I help my clients embrace that philosophy. A nuance that arises is when two groups in an organization are internal and one may be perceived as a client being serviced by an internal provider, all within the same company. It's more helpful to choose language on this framing as a partnership rather than a provider-client relationship. This helps to relax defenses that may arise if the internal provider feels beholden to the internal clients. When inside the walls of one business, look to partner rather than make demands. I find this to be more constructive for everyone involved. The next area in this pillar is influencing without authority. Many times, we find ourselves being asked to lead projects or efforts, including people who do not formally report to us. This can feel uncomfortable, but it is a ninja skill to be able to garner support just because it makes good business sense and it feels right to the person, rather than because of a line on the org chart. The truth is, we need this skill to convert our own people just as much. Influencing rather than relying on reporting lines is more effective everywhere you go, and it starts with making a compelling case and carrying yourself in a calm, confident, and sufficient way, not being needy or convincing, because that will repel your colleagues as they sense something is off in this equation. It's authenticity. Executive presence is another common ask of my clients, or might be the subject of feedback they have received as a development area of theirs. We take what can sound vague or like some litmus test that you may never pass, and I show you the exact perspectives and habits to truly own your space and use your voice. It's not fake it till you make it. We use neuroscience to develop your leadership identity and show up authentically as the strongest energy in the room everywhere you go. When blending your executive presence with others to partner well, I take my clients through a style guide of common leadership styles when trying to improve key relationships. I help you assess their leadership style and their preferred way of communicating and learning so that you can ensure you hold their attention and communicate in a way that really lands with them. Our approach should differ if we are talking to the strategic visionary or the detailed thinker. Knowing your audience first will help you tailor your message and approach, right down to the medium that you choose to deliver information. Next, there are 3 ways to build trust and connection, depending on the other person's preferences. Usually, one of the 3 is what makes them tick. This framework helps us develop deep connection with our team and colleagues horizontal in the organization. Horizontal partnerships require embracing networking. Just the word networking can make us recoil. The myth that networking is using people to get what you want is usually at the core of this. I flip it completely on its head, and I offer a new approach to networking that feels authentic and the opposite of self-serving, even at large networking events with all new faces. Last but not least is navigating corporate politics effectively. Corporate politics can make us walk out on a job, leaving money on the table. We convince ourselves that not being political is what's holding us back from advancing. Here, too, there are myths about politicking that trip us up, that we have to be a chameleon and change our tune based on who is in the room to be successful in this organization. As you might imagine, this is not what I prescribe. The approach I coach people through is being proactive in their relationships and addressing larger team dynamics in play with intention. Think of it like being the calm in the storm. In a sea of people posing and people-pleasing, genuine leadership stands out in a crowd and is like a magnet to other people. This is how we do corporate politics, with ethics and unflinching values. Let's turn to the final pillar of my signature system, Pillar 8, Managing Up. If you recall the 4 results that I offer my clients, it's excellence at work, with more ease, enjoying work and life, while earning better rewards and recognition. Earning more will be challenging unless you are effectively managing up. We might be intimidated by the sound of this, or think it means handling our superiors. But in my book, this is being proactive and methodical when maintaining these relationships. First, let's discuss alignment. It's the first step in managing up, ensuring there is alignment between our work and that of our teams with the mission our manager has and their superiors too. Objective setting is the formal opportunity to link corporate, team, and career objectives. This may seem obvious, but in the rush, we don't often take the time to cascade objectives and tie the goals to those more senior. This is not an exercise on paper. This linkage is something to take your manager through so that everyone is clear on how every effort is being made to ultimately advance your manager's goals. This puts you squarely on the same side, working together to accomplish business goals, which also paves the way for your own career advancement if you deliver. Next, communication. We will cover intentional communication modes and select those that most resonate with your more senior audience, whether visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. I'll share the telltale indicators that reveal how your manager or executive team prefers to absorb information and participate in meetings, so you always appear to be speaking their language and getting them where they feel seen and provided for. Another communication hack is front-loading your message. The more senior in the organization, likely the more responsibility, and less of an attention span. Resist the urge to over-explain and take your audience through your exact thought process from start to finish in the order in which you did it. Instead, front-load your message with the big conclusion, recommendation, or takeaway. Then you can expand a bit on how you arrive there and spend most of the time fielding questions or challenges. Problem solution identification is up next. You know what it's like to have a team member point out problems to you and wait for you to resolve them or suggest solutions. Make sure that you are always presenting recommendations on how to solve any problems that you identify. This is how you establish your brand as someone who solves problems beyond being an observer. Lastly, thriving in reorganization and massive change. It can feel like reorganizations or reinventing of the business can come down from on high and at warp speed. This can send us into a reactive and defensive mode, yearning for the good old days or what it was like before. I show my clients how to be the constant in the change, and rather than withdrawing from the dialogue, proactively engaging in the discussion, suggesting change and transitions to clarify and streamline. If you are on a revolving door of managers, take the responsibility for building trust and ensuring they know the value you are adding and your career goals. Let's look at conflict next. There may be conflict between us and those more senior to us in the organization. A common situation that introduces strife is when prioritization trade-offs must be made. You may have demands piling up and are prone to say yes, so as not to disappoint or upset your manager or their managers. This is just one example of when it's time to speak truth to power. One way to frame it is, we can do this or that in said time frame. Which one is more important? This is a discipline, of course, that requires tact and a manager who is willing to make tough decisions. There is a way to ensure your team doesn't slip into overcommitting and under-delivering, and your role is crucial here. Other scenarios where it's our responsibility as a leader to speak truth to power is raising errors, matters of ethics, and HR issues. If you find that your boss is difficult to deal with, know too that this is part of your leadership development. It can be such a delight when we see eye to eye with our own manager and they inspire us with great charisma. When that's not the case, it's time for us to be the inspirational leader, to channel our own motivation, establish our own moral compass, and not allow a single individual to taint our work experience or career development. I show you how to actively manage that relationship so that it doesn't distract from delivering business results with excellence and the associated recognition. Part of what neutralizes your manager's role is cultivating mentors and sponsors beyond your manager, managing up of all senior stakeholders around your boss. We develop an engagement plan, role-play conversations, prepare for significant meetings, and debrief next steps. If you are experiencing discrimination in the workplace, we formulate your approach to overcoming it and healing from any work trauma or injustice that may feel like an extra burden to carry at work. This is not uncommon, unfortunately, but it doesn't have to slow you down. I empathize deeply with you, and together we find a way to proceed, in role or in your next opportunity. The final aspect of this pillar is managing upward for your career development. We can lose sight of how our relationship with those senior to us is crucial to our rewards and recognition. When earning more is one of our target results, this is how we do it. First, making the most of performance reviews, including preparation, role play, and debriefing to ensure your contributions are clear and compelling, you know exactly what you need to improve upon to increase your impact, and how to do it with measurable success. Remember, as part of my work-life audit offer ending December 18th, when you sign as a client before end of year, you receive as a bonus your performance review analysis. This is how it works. You send in a copy of your year-end review to me, and I will extract the gold from it to help you move forward in your career. This way, no opportunity, including this year-end, is wasted. Instead, it's advancing your career. Next, we maximize compensation outcomes for you by managing up. This includes getting an early indication of comp expectations, clarifying your goals, and raising industry benchmarking or changes to formulaic comp to incentivize the behaviors sought. Comp can be sensitive for a host of reasons, including our own money beliefs and how intertwined our identity is at work with our own self-worth. But unless you're actively taking on the topic of compensation with your manager, including challenging and negotiating, you are leaving money on the table. Lastly, promotion of corporate title. This is a process in which you are the driver, not your manager. Take the lead in making the case, selecting and preparing references in the promotion process, practicing with mock interviews, critically evaluating your candidacy against criteria, building advocacy with any stakeholders involved in decisions by committee, and more. This makes the process easier on your manager and ensures that you are the primary person selling your promotion, who best knows your contributions in detail. I help you at every step in this process to best set you up for a successful promotion. That concludes my 8-pillar signature system available to all of my clients. The takeaway is that if you encounter challenges in any of these areas, know that you will have dedicated and experienced support to expertly guide you to the 4 results we set out to achieve together: more excellence, ease, earnings, and enjoyment. Know that if your work situation feels tenuous right now, I can help you. I know that it can be so hard to thrive in our work. It can feel like the circumstances that we're in make it impossible to excel and enjoy. As your coach, I am your partner in the hard, here to support you in every way, to help you have a different experience, even in the challenging situation that you may find yourself in. I go to bat for you, and it's easier with me by your side. Our first order of business is to help you stop feeling like you're drowning in the impossible task of your work. We take trauma and burnout and step out of it, one small step at a time. Then we aim higher, building on your wins. When you talk to me every week, it's an outlet for you, time you will look forward to. When your brain is feeling unseen, unsupported, alone, like you're taking care of everyone else, clients, bosses, team members, family, with no one taking care of you, it can be so hard. I am here as your coach, ready to use everything I have, giving you my full attention and skills and experience to be your thought partner to help you solve your problems. Come to the coaching session to release emotion, dump it all on the table, and you will leave feeling so much better with clear next steps. I take the stress away from you for 1 hour a week. I will help you find a way, even in the most difficult of situations. This is what I do with everyone I work with. It's what keeps them consistently improving their situation, one step at a time. This support frees them up to be present in their personal life, knowing they have the time already set aside with me to advance their career and better their day-to-day experience. It relieves them from worrying about it or fearing it won't ever improve. They take comfort in having invested in themselves and having rock-solid support such that it's done. Stress is no longer their identity. Leadership is. It spills over into all areas of their lives and improves their quality of life. This is why I do this work. This is why I share what's possible with you. This is why my intellectual property is yours at a glance in this podcast series and all access when we implement it together in your work and life. Everyone can have a better work-life experience. All it takes is learning the mindsets and strategies and then applying them consistently with expert support. It's a formula that works. Take a look at my testimonials page in the show notes to hear the difference it is making for business people just like you. Now is the time to claim this for yourself. If you've ever thought that maybe this is for you, that this is maybe something calling out to you to change your situation, now is the perfect time to get started. My free work-life audit offer closes on December 18th. It's the final day I'm offering these. So go ahead and choose a date and time that works for you now and show up for yourself. When you get there, I'll ask questions to learn more about your situation, and then I'll show you what is keeping you from the work and life that you want and how to clear it. If coaching can accelerate your results, I will show you how it works. When you sign as a new client, you'll also get that performance review analysis as a free bonus immediately to make good use of the final weeks of the year and set yourself up for success in compensation and beyond. As the year comes to a close, this is a great time to reflect on where you are now and start enjoying more of what you want even before 2026 starts. Year-end is a time for promotion announcements, performance reviews, performance ratings calibrations, negotiating compensation for you and your team, hitting year-end targets, annual planning, objective setting, hiring plans, 360 feedback, and reorganizations. If you're ready to face it all with expert support and make use of every bit of it as opportunities for more excellence, ease, earnings, and enjoyment, it's time to partner together. It's the perfect gift for yourself that will be enjoyed by your colleagues, family, and friends too. Do this for you. The simple act of booking that time, that work-life audit for you, will feel like it shifts everything. You will start seeing everything around you, every decision you make next, as part of your story, where you are holding the pen on the next chapter, 100% confident that it will be better than the last. Until next time.
Looking for support in applying the principles and strategies in today's episode? Sherry coaches clients one-on-one as their trusted confidant and advisor, helping each client create the work and life they had only dreamed of. To schedule your complimentary career strategy session, go to sherrygregoff.com/apply to book time with her today. It's one simple step that can change everything.